Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we close out this week, getting deeper and deeper into this winter sports season, and we're back with more coverage of the Milford boys basketball team as they play host to Kelly Rec's rival Attleboro. Milford comes into the matchup fresh off of a victory against Oliver Ames. They are 6-9 now on the season. Attleboro comes in at 9-6. Attleboro tied for third place in the division. Milford in fifth place. Milford hoping to ride the momentum from that convincing victory here on their home court on Tuesday night against Oliver Ames, against a tougher opponent here tonight as they look to make a move up those Kelly Rec standings. Attleboro will control this opening tip as varsity action gets underway. And a quick move to the basket gives Attleboro the first points of the night, courtesy of Justin Hanrahan. And now a tipped ball ends up back in the hands of the Bombardiers. Andrew Rivera trying to jar the ball loose. Another good pass underneath the basket. And this time Milford there defensively. Attleboro continues the possession with still plenty of time on the shot clock. And that one's going to rattle home this time for Michael Beverly, the Attleboro captain, getting on the score sheet. Attleboro playing with some good pace here in these opening possessions, now getting their hands on that ball as well. Jaden Outland going for the steal. Quickly, let's bring you the full starting fives for these two teams. For Attleboro, it is Jaden Outland, Hayden Crowley, Justin Hanrahan, Michael Beverly, and Neo Franco. And for the Scarlet Hawks, it is Andrew Rivera, Tyler Ballard, Luca Testa, CJ Farrell, and Jake Soares inserted into the starting lineup here tonight. As we get a whistle here, stopping play with 7:04 to go, just settling in. And an official welcome to everyone on board checking out our coverage via our YouTube live stream tonight. And if you decided to stay home to check out the live streaming coverage of tonight's game, that was certainly the right decision, as temperatures are bitterly cold outside on this Friday night. Record low temperatures for about the next 24 hours, so all the more reason to stay in and enjoy this game on Milford TV. And a good bucket for CJ Farrell as he gets Milford in the scoring column. A 4-2 score here early. Attleboro with a miss. Jake Soares grabs the defensive rebound. Rivera now a start and a stop. And now guns a pass to Ballard, now swinging it back out on the perimeter. And now Soares getting called for the travel. The Attleboro Bombardiers under the direction of their longtime head coach, Mark Houle. We say it every time we have the opportunity to cover Attleboro here in the Milford gym. Coach Houle, a tremendous coach. Milford continuing to be coached by interim head coach Chris Traficante. As that ball is jarred loose, Andrew Rivera pulls off the steal and now goes back to regroup. Soares gets closed in, kicks it back out to Rivera, who now tries to drive inside. Trying to get Soares loose from outside. Instead, it's Rivera with a wide open look from three. He can't knock it down. Ballard was there for the rebound, but it ends up in the hands of Outland. And Outland with an athletic move trying to get around Soares. Now a wide open look on the far side of the court for Hayden Crowley. And that's already three different scorers for the Bombardiers here in the opening couple of minutes as they take a 7-2 lead. Long pass gunned ahead to Testa. Waits to get the defender to fly by. Testa with the bucket to cut it back down to a one-possession game and send this game into its first timeout with 5 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the first quarter. So again, we welcome everyone into the coverage. If the junior varsity game between these two schools was any indication of what the two varsity teams will have in store, it was a very entertaining battle. The Milford boys were able to overcome a hefty deficit from the first half Milford briefly took the lead in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter, but ultimately it was the Attleboro JV squad that was able to grab a couple of clutch buckets to come away with the victory. But a close game right down to the end. These two varsity squads played a very close game earlier on in the season. These teams last played we'll get some more details on that as the game goes along. It was a victory for Attleboro in the very early days of the season, back on December 16th. A 63-55 loss in a game that had some big momentum swings. Milford had the lead at one point in that game. Kick out for three here, and right now Attleboro shooting well from long distance. That was Michael Alfonso, so it seems like the offense is coming from every spot on the floor right now for Attleboro. They take a 10-4 lead. And now CJ Farrell will look to answer with a deep three, and it rattles through. CJ Farrell now up to 5 points in the quarter, pulls Milford again back down to within three. And meanwhile, that basket will count for Attleboro's Justin Hanrahan. He'll have a chance to make it a three-point play. And that's already the second foul now called against Jake Soares. Soares will head to the bench. Tyler Ballard, who had gone to the sidelines, now back out onto the court. Meanwhile, Luca Testa ranging over towards the sidelines. He'll stay out there. Hanrahan misses the free throw. Jack Buckley out on the floor now for the Scarlet Hawks as well, with 4:28 to go in the first quarter. That pass in the direction of Rivera. Bodies fly to the floor as that ball takes a roll out of play, and Attleboro will take over. Good defense for Farrell, trying to knock that ball free. And that time Milford stands strong underneath the hoop on that move from Neo Franco. A lot of turnover on this Attleboro roster from a season ago, losing a lot of players to graduation. They also lost another player to a student transfer, leading to a lot of new faces making an impact on this varsity roster. But still, despite the turnover, this team's still over 500, in third place in the Kelly Rec standings, so showing good depth. Neo Franco was one of those players that did have some experience from a season ago. He has been one of their top scorers. Farrell's three-pointer rims out this time. Rebound controlled by Outland. Ballard, a good job closing in defensively there. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 3:30 to go in the quarter as Attleboro tries to get someone free from three-point distance. There's Farrell again pestering defensively, and now Attleboro called for the travel, so that time Milford stayed very disciplined on defense. Farrell pushing it ahead to Rivera, who didn't quite get the height he needed to the basket. Attleboro with the lead and the ball, but CJ Farrell with other ideas. He tries to take it coast to coast. He gets fouled. Both of these teams with an eye on generating turnovers here throughout this first quarter. We've seen some physical defense. It's the first team foul on Attleboro, going against Michael Beverly. Luca Testa will get a breather here. Wyatt Zagami out on the floor. Farrell goes a perfect 2 for 2. He has scored 7 of Milford's 9 points in this first quarter. And Milford looking to put pressure on here in the backcourt. Attleboro able to get ahead. Rivera, good positioning. And meanwhile, Attleboro will unleash the deep three. It was Nero letting that one go from about 4 or 5 feet behind the three-point line. Farrell giving it down low to Buckley. Now back up top. Rivera from 3. That rims out. Buckley there for the rebound. Now it's Farrell. Third time's a charm there for the Scarlet Hawks. Farrell again. 9 points for CJ. And Attleboro continuing to operate almost exclusively from the three-point line. So it's back down to a 1-point margin in what has been an entertaining first quarter so far. CJ Farrell will slowly advance to the front court. And now they pick up the tempo. Here's Buckley, the little touch shot. And they whistle the foul against Milford. Buckley called for the offensive foul. And again, Milford puts the pressure on. And they knock the ball loose, but unfortunately it's tipped right back to the Bombardiers. And then eventually out of play. It will stay Attleboro ball. They'll inbound underneath the basket with 1:42 on the first quarter clock. Meanwhile, Michael Beverly, the Attleboro captain, getting attended to by the training staff on the sideline, getting some ice down on his right foot. Leo Franco at the free throw line after the foul was called against Ballard. The Milford student section getting a little bit louder here in the later stages of the quarter. Still just a 2-point margin after only 1 make from the line. Nick Arujo now out on the floor. Farrell with the up fake. Can't get free for a shot. Kicks it back to Zagami. And now Farrell again. Excellent defense here for the Bombardiers. Milford can't find an angle. Now losing control. Farrell gets the ball back. Out to Rivera for 3, and he knocks it down. All made possible by a slick save for CJ Farrell to prevent the turnover. And a big swing on the scoreboard that sees Milford take the lead. Now Arujo with a steal. Bounce pass ahead to Rivera. He gets stripped. And Attleboro recovers nicely. Milford slinks back with 43 seconds to go. Now an open look from 3. They will wave off the shot. This time it is Jaden Outland called for the offensive foul as Attleboro made that 3-point shot, but it's waved off. So a critical foul here early on allows Milford to hold on to the lead. About a second difference between shot clock and game clock as we wind down the first quarter. Milford from the corner. Count it for Jack Buckley. It's Buckley's first points, and this has pumped up the Milford crowd. Nice passing up the floor, but Milford comes flying in. It was CJ Farrell with the block. Now the final 10 seconds of this first quarter unfolding. Milford wanting to maximize the damage here. Here's Buckley. He gets fouled on the way up. Stops the clock with 2.3 seconds as Buckley will head to the free throw line. An outstanding close to this quarter for the Scarlet Hawks. Buckley misses the second free throw. And judging by the reaction there, it almost looked like that was an intentional miss on Buckley's part. The way that Milford tried to race in for the rebound, they call the lane violation. So Attleboro with 2 seconds, they heave it up clean over the backboard down the other end. So that will finish things off here in the first quarter. Again, a great close there for the Scarlet Hawks. An outstanding first quarter in particular for C.J. Farrell, who collected 9 of Milford's 18 points, came away with several steals as well. And so Milford with a great start, off to an 18-13 lead on Attleboro. Quick timeout here on the broadcast. Second quarter comes your way next here on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks basketball on Milford TV. Welcome back in, starting the second quarter now here in Milford. An 18-13 lead for the Hawks as they gun that pass out of the reach of Rivera and out of play. Milford with the same 5 that concluded the first quarter out there to start the second. Rivera, Zagami, Farrell, Buckley, and Arujo. And a look from the near wing for Attleboro is no good. Zagami, nice elevation on the leap to pull down the defensive rebound. Now Buckley feeling good after he contributed 4 points late in that first quarter. He'll get it here up top. Now it's Rivera, drives inside, tries to lift that shot over the reach of a defender, can't make it. Just a 2-possession lead here for Milford. Attleboro had the lead through the early stretch of that first quarter before Milford started to settle in. A good hesitation there for Franco. Misses the shot, but Attleboro keeps the possession alive, now kicking it out. They'll instead take the jumper in tight to the basket, missing that as well, but another offensive rebound extends this possession for the Bombardiers. Taking another shot from 3, not the best shot selection that time for Connor Houle. And this time Milford able to grab the defensive rebound, so a long stretch there for Attleboro. They come away with no points. Now Buckley back outside for Farrell. Passes up the shot. Zagami now in some trouble. Hands off to Farrell, who just does save it. Now to the near wing for Rivera. He was open, and the shot is offline. There's Arujo with the rebound. Now Buckley trying to work off the screen from Farrell. Now backs out. A couple of extended possessions here, one apiece to start the second quarter. Now it's Farrell, I beg your pardon, Zagami. His three-pointer rims out. And now Houle up the floor. Now the drive to the basket. Bodies flying. Now great court vision for Zagami. Sends it up for the clean look for Andrew Rivera, excuse me, but the layup does not go down, and Attleboro will inbound here. Zagami, some good velocity getting that pass up the floor through traffic on the money to Rivera. Rivera just couldn't finish at the rim. 3 points for Andrew Rivera so far on the night. so far, no points for either side in the second quarter. Poole now working on the near side. Now Nero taking the shot from 2-point territory. It's no good. Jack Buckley secures the rebound. And now finds Luca Testa back out onto the floor. Testa has that poked away. We'll stay with Milford. Now Buckley will get a rest. He was productive. Jake Soares back out there. He had 2 fouls in the first quarter. We also see Jacob Legore out. So Soares, Legore, Testa, Araujo, and Zagami, the 5 on the floor. So right now an all bench set with the exception of Testa. Wave off the shot from Soares. It rimmed out anyway, but Milford called for the travel. 4:38 to go. We're nearly halfway into the second quarter. Still looking for our first basket. Now down low, that ball kicks away. And Milford will take over. This bench getting deeper for the Scarlet Hawks as this season goes on, with some players getting healthy. Legore among them. The captain now will release a 3-point attempt. That is offline. Testa able to get the rebound and does not get the roll around the rim. Now Outland taking it ahead. Kicks it to the corner. That shot off the back of the rim, and Legore able to secure the rebound. And so 4 minutes gone in this second quarter. Again, the scoreboard remains frozen. Attleboro with the turnover, generating the turnover, I should say. Now Nero under the basket, guns it to the near wing, and that one dropped in from 3-point distance for Jaden Outland, and that breaks the scoreless stretch here. Nearly 4.5 minutes before we finally get our first second quarter bucket, and that pulls Attleboro right back to within 2 points. Now they get the steal, and so the momentum pendulum swinging back towards the Bombardiers' direction. Into the corner, not a clean look for Jaden Outland. Michael Beverly back out onto the floor after icing down that foot back in the first quarter. Another 3, and this time count it for Franco Nero. That's his first shot from the floor, and that's going to force Milford into a timeout. So a vulnerable stretch here. Milford's defense able to hold up for a good stretch of this quarter, but meanwhile, absolutely no offense generated for the Scarlet Hawks, and now back-to-back threes for the Bombardiers have pushed Attleboro back in front now, 19-18. Little 6-0 mini run for the Bombardiers. Take a quick peek at how things went down the last time these two teams played. It was 3-pointers that ended up sealing the deal for Attleboro in that 63-55 win back earlier in the season. They ended up knocking down 9 3-pointers in the game. 4 of them came in the fourth quarter. Jaden Outland had a 15-point performance as part of that victory. But it was close right up until the final stretch, so it was a pretty even battle between these two teams. Now, overall, in the matchup history between these two schools recently, it has not been a good record for the Scarlet Hawks. And as a matter of fact, in the last 10 straight head-to-head meetings between Milford and Attleboro, Attleboro is 10-0, so Milford looking to break an extended losing streak against the Bombardiers with a victory here tonight. They have relinquished the lead here with 2:44 to play in the second quarter. Rivera now getting that pass to Testa. Testa, tough angle shot. It rims out. Poole collects the rebound. Connor Houle, a freshman on this varsity roster, which doesn't come as a surprise with that last name. Just an incredible legacy of players on both the boys and girls basketball side of things from the Houle family. "19 seconds on the shot clock as they gun the inbounds pass out to Jaden Outland. Down to 8 seconds on the shot clock as Nero's shot is off target. Farrell with a rebound. To the corner now. Testa will take the three, and it's offline. So again, Milford struggling to find consistency from three-point distance. And still no points on the scoreboard for the Scarlet Hawks in the second quarter, with now down to just 1:42 to go. Houle will try his luck for three, and that shot just does miss. And Tyler Ballard, after collecting the rebound, gets called for the travel. Houle again will make the inbounds pass, lobs it all the way out to Jaden Outland. Inside the final 90 seconds. Swinging it into the corner. Attleboro passes up the shot. Outland the ball handler. Back to Houle. And now potential open look there for Crowley, but Crowley is going to get called for the travel. So an offensively challenged second quarter coming down to the final minute. Just two made baskets. They're both on the Attleboro side. Both have been from three-point range. And now here's Rivera. Tough pass handled by Ballard. Now back outside for Farrell from three. And finally, there it is. C.J. Farrell knocks down a critical three to put the lead back on Milford's side. Attleboro quickly breaks the press, but Milford gets the block they need down the other end. 38 seconds to go as now Rivera drives in trouble, and Attleboro able to come away with the ball. Another turnover. And now Rivera comes back with purpose on the defensive side. Shot clock turned off now, 20 seconds until halftime. And Attleboro will pull it back. They'll play for the final shot, or so it seems. Rivera one-on-one against Outland. And Milford commits the foul. Foul numbers have been modest in this half. That's the 15th foul for Milford, just 3 on the Attleboro side. The first foul of the night called on Andrew Rivera. And Coach Traficante will deploy Geising Teal and Jack Buckley here for this final 8-second stretch. And you can count the bucket right off the inbounds pass for Jaden Outland, a chance to make it 3. Scoreboard tied up now at 21, and now more personnel changes for the Milford side. Rivera, Farrell, Buckley, Testa, and Ballard. Neo Franco back out for the Bombardiers, so a lot of moving parts. Attleboro cannot complete the three-point play. And so Milford will have 6.9 seconds to try to break this tie. Ballard to the bench, Zagami onto the floor. It's Farrell who takes it up ahead to Zagami. Had a little trouble getting the handle on that ball. Now Farrell will toss it up at the buzzer, and it goes in and out. So we will end this first half the way we started it, tied up on the scoreboard, tied up at 21, and after an exciting first quarter, a bit of an ugly offensive second quarter, not a lot of shots made, but in the end, these teams head into halftime tied up at 21. So we will step away now for the 10-minute intermission, and as we always tell you on the live stream, hang with us for just about the next 10 minutes, and we will be back with third quarter coverage. An exciting game underway here between the Scarlet Hawks and the visiting Bombardiers. We'll get the third quarter started in just a few minutes here on Milford TV. Welcome back into the Milford gym as we get underway with second half coverage in this Kelly Rex Division showdown between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the visiting Attleboro Bombardiers, tied at 21 as this third quarter begins. Tim Coet here on the call. Once again, an outstanding crew from Milford TV on hand, bringing you the coverage on this sub-zero night. Attleboro getting underway with the first bucket. Jaden Outland, who had 5 first half points, grabs the first bucket quickly here in the third quarter. Fresh off a second quarter that saw these two teams combined for just 11 points, only 3 of them on the Milford side. Now it's Ballard collecting this ball down low, sends the pass out that eventually finds its way into the hands of Luca Testa. CJ Farrell, your overall scoring leader in that first half with 12 points, misses his first look here in the second half. Ballard fighting for that rebound. Looked like he took a pretty good blow to the head, went down to the floor, and they end up awarding possession to Attleboro. Milford putting pressure on in the backcourt here. Farrell momentarily with the steal. Now more hands poking in there, trying to wrestle the ball loose. They're going to call the foul, it looks like, on Farrell, his first. And so a physical play down the other way doesn't get called, leads to more physicality down the other end. This time Milford gets the whistle. So a little bit of inconsistent officiating here in this early sequence of the second half. Outland now to the free throw line. So Outland with all the points so far in the early stages of this third quarter. It's now a 5-point lead for the Bombardiers. Testa now trying to cut inside, out of control, and able to send that ball out of play off of the Bombardiers. Milford scored 18 points in the first quarter. Their offense was looking good, but they have been out of sync since. Just 3 points over this extended stretch, and it will continue after Testa misses that shot. Outland now weaving his way ahead. Kicks it back outside to Franco. Neo Franco had 4 points in the first half. Gives way underneath the hoop. No shot. And now Farrell pulls up for the jumper. In and out. Now Rivera, I beg your pardon, it's Ballard battling under the boards. Now Rivera comes in. And so it looks like they're going to call the foul on the Bombardiers. They call it on Connor Houle. So he now has 2 fouls. Farrell now over Houle, ends up getting the bucket. And now more pressure from the Milford defense as Milford gets on the scoreboard here in the second half. They close it to a 3-point game. And now a good pass up ahead. Nice play on the back end defensively. The block for Rivera. Milford's block game has been strong at times here tonight. Now Rivera spins away and drops in his first shot since the first quarter. We've seen a lot of times Rivera get hot in the third quarter. Attleboro leaves that ball behind. Milford says thank you very much. Rivera calling for it. Drives baseline, gets it back outside for Soares, who's able to collect it in. Now cuts to the basket, but has his shot blocked by Justin Hanrahan. Coach Traficante active on the sidelines as Houle comes inside. They wave off the shot. They'll say the foul occurred on the floor. They call it on Farrell. It's his second foul. Meanwhile, we'll swap in Nick Arujo. Jake Soares to the bench. Soares was in the starting lineup tonight, but has seen light action on the floor. He does have a couple of fouls. It's Franco, the ball handler, against Rivera. Arujo out to help. Now across the way for Houle. Houle with some slick dribbling. Kick it to the corner for Outland. It's no good. The ball just out of the reach of Arujo. Attleboro resets. Arujo, tight defense in the corner, but the runner into the basket. Good for Franco. Back out to a three-point advantage. Milford would love to see Luca Testa settle into a groove here in the second half. Luca has seemed a little bit out of sync offensively in the last couple of games that we've covered. Overall, Testa came into this week's action averaging 11 points a game. He's been the number 2 scorer in this offense behind Rivera, who came into this week averaging 14.5. CJ Farrell averaging 10.5 a game. He's already over that here tonight with, right now, sitting on 14 points to lead all scorers. Wyatt Zagami back out there. He spins around, lifts the shot. It's no good. Arujo goes up, comes away empty. Not a lot of luck around the rim for Milford to try to snap them out of this extended offensive funk that has lasted now for more than a quarter and a half. Again, 18 points over the first 8 minutes. Since then, just 7 points. Bull looking for that inbounds pass, gets it into Nathan Hodgson. Coach Houle with some of his bench deployed here in the second quarter. Nathan Hodgson, also Spencer Shirk out onto the floor. This ball all the way into the backcourt for Connor Houle. Going against Wyatt Zagami. Farrell in with the help. 20 seconds on the shot clock, ticking down to 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Open look from 3, off the back of the rim. Ballard with the rebound. Farrell calling for it up ahead, able to stay inbounds along that far sideline. Takes it to the basket, a little too out of control. Looking back at the official, wanting to see a foul called. If you're Milford, you have seen a bit of inconsistent officiating in the second half. Rivera's going to get a break here. Jack Buckley back into the game. Buckley had 4 points in the first half. Franco against Ballard on the perimeter. Now Outland will take the shot. It rattles through for 3. Outland has been the main offensive option for Attleboro in this third quarter. Offline shot for Jack Buckley, and Milford not getting a lot of quality looks right now. It's up to a 6-point Bombardiers lead as we come down to the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Down low, Zagami. Keeps good positioning against Hanrahan, doesn't allow a good look. Milford cleans up the defensive glass. That foul called against Nathan Hodgson. 1:58 remaining in the quarter. As that ball goes all the way to the hoop, a little alley-oop play executed by Tyler Ballard. He gets his first basket of the night. The Attleboro lead is 4. Franco gives way to Hanrahan. Farrell in tight. Knocks the ball free, but Hodgson's there. A 3-ball put up by Crowley is no good. Attleboro there with the rebound, and the foul is committed by Milford. Second foul of the night called on Tyler Ballard. That one falls through for Hanrahan. Attleboro 4 out of 7 shooting free throws with 1 more to go. (33-27), Attleboro with the lead. Jump shot for Farrell, takes a couple of bounces around the rim, and then Ballard nearly pulled down the rebound, but it ends up in the hands of Neo Franco. Now back to Farrell. Farrell goes up and under. Do they count the basket? It looks like they will wave off the basket. So Milford with the inbounds. The Scarlet Hawks already have 7 team fouls, 4 for the Bombardiers, so a much different complexion than what we saw in the first half. Foul numbers were at a minimum in that first half. The whistles have been out here in the third quarter. Here's Farrell now, takes it up, gets the bank. Farrell shouldering the load in this game so far. 16 of Milford's 29 points. Down to 20 seconds remaining in the third. Shot clock off. Zagami on Outland. Zagami doing a nice job. Outland releases an off-balance 3. It's no good. And so an outstanding defensive stand there for Wyatt Zagami, one-on-one against Jaden Outland. Prevents a good look there at the close of the third. So we head into the fourth quarter. Despite some offensive issues here through the middle portion of this game for Milford, they're still right there within reach at 33-29. Quick pause here on the broadcast. Fourth quarter comes your way next here on Milford TV. This Milford coaching staff trying to push the right buttons here ahead of the fourth quarter to get the team back on track. Again, 18 points over the first 8 minutes. Over the last 16, it's been just 11 points, so an extended offensive struggle here for the Scarlet Hawks. But despite that, they enter this fourth quarter down by just 4, so the game there for the taking. The one player that has not been struggling offensively is C.J. Farrell. He has 16 points on the night as the cheerleaders go flying as that ball came into the near sideline in a hurry. Attleboro maintains control. Poole against Zagami. Zagami's played some outstanding defense when he's been in there tonight. That ball put in by Hanrahan. And so the Attleboro lead now jumps up to 6. Right now, Milford needing a second scoring option besides C.J. Farrell. Here's Buckley now with a look from 3. He knocks it down. That's Buckley's second 3 of the game. Back down to a 1-score game as Attleboro breaks the press. And again, it is Hanrahan, gets out of the reach of Farrell. Gus Catino into the game here in the fourth quarter. It's the first time Catino's gotten into the game tonight. Contested look for Farrell through traffic. Up to 18 points on the night now for CJ. This ball skipped to the corner. Outland's shot was blocked on the way up. It goes out of play, last touched by Milford. "17 seconds on the shot clock, 6:06 to play here in the fourth. That ball just does get into Franco. Now it's Houle, and Houle goes down. They'll award the foul. And they put the foul on Farrell, so now CJ with 3 fouls here with 6:01 to play. And the foul discrepancy continues here in the second half. Now 18 fouls for Milford, 4 for the Bombardiers. Poole a make and a miss. And now that ball skips back into the hands of Rivera. Catino hands off to Buckley. Now Farrell thought about the 3. Instead goes for the reverse lay-in. It won't go. Catino fighting down low. But it's Attleboro that comes away with the rebound. Now the ball loose, just out of the grasp of Farrell. And now Outland on the perimeter. Cuts inside, now back outside with Buckley in pursuit. 5:20 to go now in this fourth quarter. Shot clock down to 9. Outland against Farrell this time. 1 second on the shot clock. And they're going to say he got the shot off in time. And eventually, Nick Arujo puts an end to the possession. Just barely getting that shot off, and now a hard foul just outside center court. It's going to go against they put the foul right now on number 5, Hayden Crowley. I thought initially it was Hanrahan, but they put the foul on Crowley. Meanwhile, Houle and Hanrahan to the sidelines. A personnel change here on the Attleboro side. 4:53 to go, a 4-point lead for the Bombardiers, and now Milford is going to call a timeout. So a competitive game here tonight. Milford had the lead after the first quarter. It was tied at halftime. A 4-point lead for Attleboro heading into the fourth quarter, and that's where the margin is right now. As we look at the road ahead after this game here tonight, we're starting to get down to the late stages of the season. Milford will have a couple of road games coming up. They'll actually be on the road tomorrow in Barnstable, a 5:30 p.m. game on the road. Then they'll be away to start next week against the North Attleboro Rocketeers before returning home on Friday of next week to take on the King Philip Warriors. Milford will close out the season with 3 straight home games later on in the season against Franklin, against Hampton Charter West, and then a game on February 22nd that on our schedule is listed as to be determined. That might be the Scarlet Hawk Classic there to close out the regular season. Milford, with this young nucleus, looking to make those steps forward, and really already they've made so much progress from a season ago where they struggled to get any wins. Just a 2-win season last year. They're at 6-9, coming off of a good win against league competition on Tuesday, fighting hard to try to come back in this game. Here's Farrell continuing to fight under the basket, and finally the whistle comes. And that's how difficult it's been for Milford to get a whistle here in this second half. Farrell will go to the line. Certainly the player that you want taking shots in this game. Outside of Farrell, Milford has had only 4 other players on the score sheet. Luca Testa with 2 points, Tyler Ballard with 2, Andrew Rivera with 5, and Jack Buckley now with 7 points on the night. And Farrell misses, but then the tip in, and that's going to cut it down to 1. Attleboro drives inside, they kick to the far wing, they're going to get called for the travel. And so that was Nick Arujo with that tip-in, so he gets credit for the bucket. Also the defender going up as well, but the deflection going in. It's a 38-37 game. Milford with the ball. A chance to take the lead here as we hit the midway point in this fourth quarter. Farrell to the basket, gets blocked on the way up, fights for his own rebound, and the ball taken away by the Bombardiers. Milford with the trap in the corner. Attleboro gets away from it, plenty of time to take the 3, and a miss. And now the foul is committed by Milford. Spencer Shirk to the line. The foul going against Gus Catino, his first. And a lot of potential opportunity for Attleboro to shoot free throws the rest of the way. Milford's in the penalty. 16 fouls right now for Attleboro as Shirk misses both shots and Milford controls the rebound. Now it's Testa, tough feed to Arujo, kicks it into the near wing for Buckley. Possession's going to stay with Milford here, down to 3:37 in the fourth. Cheerleaders part the sea for Farrell to inbound. Up top for Rivera. He gets hemmed in. That ball ends up out of play. Another opportunity for Milford to inbound now with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. An unusually low score to this game. We've talked about the offensive woes for Milford, but Attleboro's really not been able to get comfortable themselves. But you look at these two teams overall on the season. Attleboro comes in averaging 55.5 points per game. Milford comes in averaging 57.5 points per game, and yet this game is being played in the 30s with just 3:26 to go. So you can certainly credit the two defenses on the floor here tonight, but after the way that this game started, I don't think that we thought we would be still at such a low score at this part of the game. It's been Just a strange night that has unfolded with not a lot of consistent offense from anyone outside of 22 and White. CJ Farrell will make the inbounds pass, sitting on 19 points in the game. And before we even get the inbounds pass, we see a foul called on Attleboro. And that's their 7th foul, so this will put Milford to the line. A chance to tie or take the lead. Jack Buckley will shoot the free throws, the 3rd foul of the night now on Hayden Crowley. So Buckley able to knot this game up, an opportunity now to give Milford a 1-point lead. Two good makes for Jack Buckley. Milford has shot 6 of 8 from the line in this game. And those two makes give Milford a 39-38 lead. Now Coach Houle calls the timeout, stopping the clock with 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Attleboro came into this game with some momentum at their backs. They are winners of 3 straight. A winning streak that started back on January 27th against their bitter rivals, the North Attleboro Rocketeers, a 63-51 victory. Then it was a non-conference victory for the Bombardiers over Durfee High School. I beg your pardon. Prior to that game against Durfee, it was a victory over the Canton Bulldogs, 58-38, and then a 51-43 win against the Durfee Hilltoppers. So 3 straight victories, all games in which Attleboro scored 50-plus points. These two teams retake the floor here with a tight differential on the scoreboard. Milford with 39, Attleboro with 38. Milford returns to the floor with Rivera, Testa, Buckley, Farrell, and Arujo. Neo Franco trying to direct traffic as Rivera keeps a watchful eye. Now it's Outland. He'll pull up for the shot off the back of the rim. Rebound up for grabs secured by the Bombardiers. Now it's Houle, skips it across the way for an open look from 3, no good, and then tipped in by Franco. Or is it? That ball looked like it went in, but it might have grazed the outside of the net on the way down. The scoreboard unchanged. Attleboro with an inbounds pass, and now Outland will go all the way in for the shot. So in the end, the Bombardiers get the bucket. They take a 40-39 lead as we tick down to the final 2.5 minutes of the game. Here's Farrell for 3, and he knocks it down. 5 points in this 4th quarter, make it 6 points with a free throw mixed in there as well. And Milford jumps right back on top, 42-40. Now right to the basket, this time for Justin Hanrahan. And tied up now at 42. Rivera now pulls up from the free throw line. He gets that shot to rattle through. It's been an off night for Rivera, but he makes a big shot there to push the lead back onto Milford's side as we go under 2 minutes to play. Out to the corner. The shot from 2-point range is very short for Attleboro. Farrell controls the rebound. Outland keeps an eye as Farrell crosses the center line, in some trouble. And good awareness there for Rivera to avoid the backcourt violation. This is going to take us down to 90 seconds. Still 14 seconds on the shot clock as Farrell backs out. Hands off to Rivera, who picks up ahead of steam. Sends it to the corner for Buckley for 3. That's over everything. Arujo's there for the rebound. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Farrell puts it up. Gets a little bit of the rim, but Attleboro controls the rebound. Good defensive stand for the Bombardiers. They come back up the floor trailing by just 2. And Coach Houle wants the timeout. Stops the clock with 1:05 to play. This game hanging in the balance. And for Milford, it was an easy breezy fourth quarter in the game on Tuesday that we covered here on Milford TV. A comfortable win over Oliver Ames, but anything but that here tonight. And you look at this fourth quarter, once again it's CJ Farrell leading the way. He has 5 points in this fourth quarter. Jack Buckley also has 5 points, 2 of those coming on critical free throws. Rivero with a big bucket, Nick Araujo with a big bucket. $15 points in this fourth quarter for Milford, so they figured it out a bit on offense at a crucial time. Only 5 points in this fourth quarter so far for Attleboro, so it has allowed Milford to come back and take a 2-point lead, but still 65 seconds to decide the outcome of this night. Milford returns to the floor with Rivera, Farrell, Testa, Araujo, and Ballard. Neo Franco to inbound for the Bombardiers. He sends it into the backcourt for Connor Houle, who dribbles ahead, and we dip under 60 seconds to play in this fourth quarter. Houle will take it in. The shot doesn't go, but he gets fouled. They call it on Araujo. It's his third. 53.1 seconds on the clock. Pressure free throws coming up here for Houle. The freshman, the only freshman on this varsity roster for the Bombardiers, and he misses his first shot. One more to go as the Milford crowd gets loud. And Houle able to make the second. Cuts it down to a 1-point differential. Coach Traficante changing up the personnel before we get this inbounds pass. Testa guns it into CJ Farrell. He is spied by Neo Franco. And they get the steal with the help from Jaden Outland, but the pass up ahead goes out of play. And they're going to award possession to Milford. That ball did graze the leg of the official on the way back up the floor. And that's perhaps what Coach Houle wants to talk about. The ball would have gone out of play even had the official not been there. So that certainly has to be taken into consideration. Coach Houle calls the timeout. 41 seconds on the clock. A 1-point lead for Milford. This Milford team huddles up. The coaching staff trying to draw up just the right play for this situation in the game. Coach Houle doing the same with his group. One of these teams is going to walk away with a big boost. It's been a tough battle all night long. We haven't seen a lead larger than about 2 possessions. A couple of times the Bombardiers through the middle stages of the night able to pull out to about a 6 or maybe a 7-point lead, but that's about as big as it's gotten. Milford now with that 1-point advantage. Jack Buckley into Farrell. This time he dishes off to Buckley. Milford advances to the front court. Rivera gets the pass, 30 seconds to go. Tight defense here from the Bombardiers. Now underneath the basket for Buckley. Sends it back out to Farrell. 16 seconds on the shot clock, 20 seconds on the game clock. Farrell being swarmed, gets it away to Rivera. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now down low, out to the corner for Buckley. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Down low to Ballard. He saves it and then tosses it up into the hands of Attleboro. Milford could not get a shot away. 1 second to go. This one for the game. It's short. The buzzer sounds. Coach Houle screaming for a foul over in the corner. It's all zeros on the game clock. Milford celebrates at center court. It's the defenses on display over that last sequence, fittingly so. And right now, Coach Houle with a long stare out to the officials at center court, but these two teams will shake hands and the Scarlet Hawks will escape with a 44-43 victory. It was hold on for dear life there in that final sequence. Milford with a lot of dangerous passes. They used up all of the shot clock, could not get a quality look away, but not enough time for Attleboro to get something done on the other end. And so Milford walks away with one of their best victories so far of the season against one of their Kelly Rex Division opponents, as Milford will win this game by a final score of 44-43. So with the victory, Milford now makes it 2 straight, and they climb to within 2 games of 500. They are now 7-9 on the season, and with the loss, Attleboro snaps a 3-game winning streak. They fall to 9-7 overall on the year. Next up on the schedule for the Scarlet Hawks is a road matchup tomorrow evening in Barnstable. We'll have more coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics next week. We have a couple of girls games on the schedule for you next week. We'll be back in action on Tuesday night. We hope you will join us for the live streaming coverage then. Once again, we will be live here on YouTube with that game getting underway right around 6 o'clock in the evening. But that will wrap things up for tonight. A big thank you, as always, to our outstanding Milford TV crew on hand for the coverage. Our director for the game tonight is Patrick Garapi, and our camera operator is Milford TV intern Jack Ricca, and I am Tim Coette. That final score, one final time, Milford holds on for a 44-43 victory over Attleboro. This has been a presentation of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.